far as Malaysia is concerned, we will definitely would like to engage with the private sector to develop the water industry. So as I mentioned just now, water in Malaysia is a state matter, and there needs to be close cooperation between the state governments and the federal government. So moving forward in Malaysia, we have undertaken the water reform for the water industry in Malaysia. And in the past, the water industry was highly fragmented, not contributing much to the GDP of the country. If we compare the water industry with the energy industry, it is so vast, such a big difference between these two sectors. For example, for the energy sector, the contribution of the energy sector just from the utility, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, the biggest utility in Malaysia, is about 36 billion ringgit annual turnover, compared to a bigger 3 billion turnover from the water sector. So we need to now see how we can turn around this sector, this industry, and make it play a more efficient and effective role in contributing to the GDP of the country. That's where the private sector comes in. And as far as Malaysia is concerned, we had been engaging with the private sector all these years. For example, in the state of Selangor, which I mentioned just now, Selangor, or the Klang Valley area that covers Selangor, Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya, we had involved the private sector in the treatment of water. So right from many years back, the private sector was already involved in the treatment and funding of such projects, and even at the distribution level, we had also privatized that to the private companies to run these services, and we think you get more output with private sector involvement. In the traditional sense, water used to be run by government departments, and we noticed that it does not really deliver the efficiency that we are looking at. And of course, there's a lot of political interference or intermingling with this issue about efficiency. So we need to really try to segregate these two and provide the economic impetus to more efficient water management in the country. And I believe also in the Asia regions or in the ASEAN region, it'd be good, for the private sector to work together with the governments to provide or to improve the water infrastructure in the region. Of course, the governments are one party, and I thought there is this NGO. For Malaysia, we have Malaysia Water Association. That's a very active NGO that can also contribute towards active deliberation and discussion on this topic of water security. Yeah. And I believe the MWA, which consists of experts, from the water industry, can come along and discuss with the NGOs or the international UN organizations on this central topic. And I believe they are ever willing to contribute their expertise and knowledge. Certainly this AIDF summit that we are here today will provide that platform to enable us to discuss and share ideas, not only amongst the government policy makers, but with the academia, the technology solution providers, the companies who are involved in the water industry, to come together and share with us what's the latest technology that's available that we can look at to improve the water services in the region. And I also noticed that there are also many Malaysian companies, that have taken part, that's a very good move, which would enable the government and the private sector to engage meaningfully to discuss on this issue about water security, which is quite central today. As I mentioned just now in my speech, water shortage, the vagaries of water supply has become more serious nowadays with issues about climate change, so probably climate change has played a part in playing havoc to water supply, especially in Malaysia too. We are also facing this problem.